Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It's a beautiful Friday morning, July 9th, 2021. It's 7:59 a.m. Central. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central or a minute or so before, talk about strategies, tips, techniques, and so forth. Yesterday, I thought we had a very effective training that was applicable more so to our affiliate partners. And that training has been posted up on the iimfl.org website under the career tab. Today, we're going to flip the conversation over to our white label partners. And our topic today, which is depicted on the screen, are best practices. We launched the white label partnership model late May. And really June was the first month of it. And so now that we have a month behind us, we've learned a lot of what has worked better than others, other strategies. We have a number of top producers, Mark and Anthony, for example, both were above 40 enrollments last month. And I suspect both of them will probably double that, be pushing 80 to 100 this month in July. So we're going to go through just 5 best practices, and at any point that you have questions, comments, concerns regarding the topic matter we're on, just go ahead and put it into the question and answer. We have a number of new white label partners that have joined over the last 24 hours, and many of you, including John, are online today. So thank you for the new white label partners for joining. But I think today's topic will be relevant regardless if this is day one or if you've been with us from the beginning. All right, so let's dig into the best practices, and I'll scroll down as we go. So best practice number 1 is, if you're not a white label partner, we encourage you to take that step. Now, if you just want to be an affiliate, that's fine. But part of the tension, part of the challenge that we've had in the past is we'd have affiliates want to act in more of an involved role. And to be an affiliate means you refer in and you get out of the way. You're not involved with the client interaction. You don't control the client terms. And so many of you have more to offer. You have more education, experience, more desire to be involved. And so the affiliate role just wasn't the right fit. So we encourage you to consider becoming a white label partner. It's again, there's no cost to enroll. You can earn a great income, and ultimately our focus is on helping others. If you help others get what they want, then you can get what you want, and that's the focus of the white label model. So you can go to iimfl.org, the white label page, and enroll easily. For a while, we had taken down the link where you could actually click and enroll right from the website. That has been added back. Scott, our chief marketing officer, which I'll talk more about him here on best practice number 2, has made some tweaks. So that's back up. So before we had to send you the link separately, now it's there on the website. And then the only other item I'll add on best practice number 1 is a number of you, like Bruce, we're asking, okay, I know other people that would like to be a white label partner. How do I monetize that? Well, what you can do, and we've mentioned this in a past training, but I'll summarize here. So let's say that I know Joseph. Joseph is a licensed real estate agent and an awesome gentleman out of Arkansas. So let's say that I know Joseph, and I think that he might be a good fit to be a white label partner, either because of his interest, his background, his relationships, or just his desire to earn more income. I could approach Joseph and say, hey, Joseph, I'm looking for a partner in Northwest Arkansas to run a white label program that provides a guaranteed minimum of $100,000 for small business owners to start or grow a small business. There's no minimum credit score, no minimum time in business. Wouldn't cost you anything, but I'm looking for someone to work with. It would really be the managing director here in Northwest Arkansas. Joseph, would you be interested in that? So what I'm doing is I'm recruiting Joseph. I'm not charging him anything. I'm setting up a white label model with Joseph. He'll be the managing director, but he and I are going to split the income 50-50. So let's say Joseph says yes, then I would set up as a white label partner through IIMFL. I would be in control of it, but Joseph would do the work and we'd split the income. But it doesn't limit to that. So let's say that then I also know Charles, and Charles is in a different area of the country, and I could approach Charles with that same pitch. So it's not Ponzi, it's not MLM, it's not a shell game. I'm just essentially developing partnerships with people that are going to run it. It's no different than if you and I wanted to go open a Domino's franchise, right? We could say, hey, I'm looking for someone to open a Domino's franchise with in Cincinnati, Ohio. And there won't be any cost. You'll be the managing director. We'll split the profit 50-50. So that is best practice number one. Are there any questions that anyone has on number one before we move on? It'll get deeper here, so don't worry. Okay, so if you have any questions, just pop it into the Q&A question and answer box of Zoom. It's like chat. Let's move on to best practice number two. We hired Scott, and I'm trying to remember, did he start? I can't remember now, frankly, if he started May 1st or June 1st. Time flies. But Scott is now our Chief Marketing Officer. He is a great resource for you as a white label partner. Specifically, he's going to work with you on generating leads and converting leads. Well, sorry, didn't highlight that well. Those are two pretty important things, right? Now, once the client has been developed, then I'll be working with you and getting the client funding. So with that being said, if you are a white label partner and you've not scheduled a conversation or reached out to Scott, shame on you, right? Because you're missing a key resource. And I know that you're probably smarter than Scott and I put together, and you know more things and can do more things than Scott and I can help you do. It'd still be worthwhile to talk to Scott and at least get oriented. So several of you are brand new. This is day one for being a white label partner. It's one of the first things I'd be doing is reaching out to Scott. If you're not on track, we want to have at least 10, ideally at least 10 enrollments per month per white label partner. And again, our top producers are doing multiple times that. But if you're not on track, we're not quite to the halfway point of the month. I guess we're at the third of the month. So if you haven't had at least 3 or 4 enrollments so far of white label clients, probably time to reach out to Scott, because what can he do? He can help you generate leads, and he can help you develop strategies to convert leads. Now, I'm going to talk to you about some conversion training here in a second, how to make it really simple. But one of the things that we've learned, one of the best practices, is you want to make it simple for clients to enroll. So the less effort that the prospect has to put into becoming a client, the more likely they are to do it. So you'll generate more new clients. Scott can help you put your terms and conditions online. You might say, oh, what does that mean? Okay, so in the white label model, you are our client. The end user, the small business owner, the entrepreneur, is your client. So you need to have an agreement with your client. We have an agreement with you that comes. So we form an agreement with you up here, but you need to form an agreement with your client. Well, on the same white label page are 2-word templates of actual agreements that you can just put your name on, or you can change terms and conditions and pricing because you can charge clients more or less and so forth. But the bottom line is you want to have a written agreement with your client. That's better, so everyone's clear on what the promises are from both perspectives. And then how you contract with them will make a difference in your success. So again, we've provided you the word templates. They're parked right up there on the white label page for the world to see. You could put your name on it, save it as a PDF, and send it over to them. That would be rather elementary, but that would work. You could sign up with DocuSign or Adobe and then upload that and make it an editable template. So all they need to do is click, and click, and then they sign up. That would be much better. So the point is, you want to make it easy and efficient for your clients to enroll. And Scott can help you take your terms and conditions, whatever changes you want to make to our template that we've provided you. It's up there for the world to see on the white label page. Get it online so it's easy. Terms and conditions are something that almost, we're inundated with. You agree to go to a website, you often agree to the terms and conditions. You want to use your iPhone, you agree to terms and conditions. So essentially what you're going to do is package your agreement as an online easy terms and conditions, and you'll have a higher conversion. And that's going to feed into one of my other best practices here in just a moment. So does anyone, and Tyree, I'm going to answer your question in just a second. Does anyone else have any questions over what we've covered so far? The first was essentially just encouragement, become a white label partner. The second is making sure that you're aware of a very important resource that each of you have, our Chief Marketing Officer, Scott, to help you generate leads and convert leads. Now, Tyree asked a great question. And it's an advanced strategy, but he's correct. So once you become a white label partner, you can either do one of three things to generate leads. Let's get back to this. You could generate your own leads, such as online marketing or advertising or what have you. You could buy leads. And there's sources, and Scott can point you towards where you pay a fee and you buy leads. The third is you could develop a lead generation system of referral partners. And that's what Tyree was asking. And that's absolutely correct. What we recommend, and we talked about this once, but Tyree, I'm pretty sure it was before you came aboard as a white label partner. So it's time to revisit it. What we found really effective to generate referral relationships is to let people know, often key influencers, which I'll get back to in just a second what that means. Offer them a $100 gift card if they refer you someone that signs up, has a white label access to capital. So key influencers, what I'm talking about here are those individuals that have existing relationships with small business owners that can refer people to you. So examples would be accountants, lawyers, website developers, chamber executives, business bankers, business coaches. So you can see it's those people that are already involved in business to business transactions. They already know and or have client small business relationships, and you want to make it real simple for them to refer to you. And what we found to work really well is, hey, for everyone you send over, if they sign up to participate in our Access to Capital program, I'll give you a $100 gift card. And that's usually enough to get someone's attention. And that's a steal for you because you're going to make probably $5 to $7 grand off of each client. And if you're paying $100 to generate a lead from a warm relationship and you're only giving that gift card out if the person signs up, it's an absolute no-brainer. So that's how I would do it, but there's other approaches that you could take if you want. And you could even create your own affiliate model. That really was what Tyree's question was. But you can do, so 3 ways to get leads. You can generate your own, which Scott can help you with. You can buy leads. There's places to buy them from in terms of unrelated existing leads, or you can incentivize people to refer to you. And what Tyree was talking about doing is creating his own affiliate model. Okay, so let's move on to best practice number 3. And this is a big one. So some of you are making it way too complicated. You're reducing your success by going into a pitch. Piggybacking off of what we talked about yesterday from the affiliate perspective, we would encourage you, don't pitch. If you're selling the program to people, you're going to get worn out. It's more painful. It's unnecessary. Don't pitch. the proposition. What you want to do instead is just simply see if people qualify. So we've even provided you some recommended scripting here. So let's say that I'm talking to Dion. And so Dion's a prospect. Now, I could go through some long, drawn-out explanation to Dion about how we're going to build business plans, and financial projections, and personal financial statements, and this and that. And then everything I say to Dion, he's going to respond with 28 questions, and it's going to take a year and a half to close Dion. Painful. And I'm not talking about Dion as an individual. I'm just using him as a random example. So instead, this is what I would say to Dion. Hey, Dion, we're working with a 501c3 nonprofit that's administering a grant subsidized program that guarantees a minimum of $100,000 to start or grow a business. Would you like to see if you qualify? And then you shut up and you wait for him to respond. Now, Dion could respond with a yes, I'd like to see if I qualify, and that's going to happen most of the time, especially if you said this with some confidence. He might say no, which is fine, and that'll happen. Or he might respond back with questions. And so his questions might be, oh, well, can you tell me how it works? Or how much money can I get? Or what would the interest rate be? All those things. But what you want to do is redirect Dion, and I'll validate this in a second, to say, you know what, Dion, if you can give me 2 to 3 minutes, we can figure out if you qualify. That's the first step. Now let's draw an analogy. One of my favorite classes in my MBA program was taught by a professor, and he was big in strategy professor, and he was big into pulling analogies, especially from other industries. And so he developed a whole textbook around this concept. Well, you and I pull an analogy here. If you or I wanted to buy a house right now in today's market, would we just start going and looking at open houses or calling realtors? Probably not. That's not the most efficient way. We would first get pre-qualified. And that's typically what any realtors who are going to want to hear us have before we waste their time in a very hot real estate market going and looking at houses. We need to get qualified. Well, that's an analogy of what you're doing. So instead of them spending so much time telling you their life story, which we'll talk more about in a moment, and another best practice, let's just simply see if they qualify. And if you've worked with Scott to put your terms and conditions online, again, this is piggybacking off of what we discussed yesterday from the affiliate perspective, you can determine if they qualify in 2 to 3 minutes and create a client relationship. So best practice number 3, don't go out and pitch, which means don't go out and sell the program to people. Instead, just simply help them see if they qualify. If you have questions on that, that's fine, because I know there's some semantics involved with that, so, and some wordsmithing. So if you have questions on that, let me know. So let me get to Dion's question that he posted, see if any of you have questions on best practice number 3, and then we'll move forward. But if you do it my way, this way, you'll close over 90%. And I stand by it. You'll close over 90%. I do. You should probably do better than I do. You'll close over 90% if you stop selling and just help people qualify. Okay, so Dion wants to get more understanding on recruits. He can recruit people. Okay, so we were just talking about the $100 gift card. Yeah, so Dion, I'm trying to follow. You didn't use any punctuation there in your paragraph, so I'm trying to separate out the sentence fragments here. But you can recruit however you would like. You can recruit people that refer into you, which is what Tyree was asking about, or you can, of course, recruit leads. But you have to be a bit more specific, Dion, and I'll do a better job of answering your question. Okay, so does anyone have any questions on number 3? Now, again, for number 3 to work, you need to have your terms and conditions either uploaded into DocuSign, Adobe, or even better on a website where they can just click on it, click I agree, provide a couple pieces of information, and then move on. So what they're doing is they're qualifying based upon their willingness to enroll. what you and I know is for our model, there's really only two qualification requirements, right? Number one, the business model needs to be legal. If they're doing something illegal, then we're not going to help them raise capital. And the second is it needs to be US based. It's really that simple. So you could just say that to them, or you could take them through the process of helping them go through the terms and conditions, which does ask for their address normally. And so then you can qualify them literally in 2 to 3 minutes. At that point, then we can onboard them and implement them and help them understand the rest. Any questions, comments, concerns on best practice number 3? Because I know a lot of you are pitching, because you'll email me, you'll text me, you'll call me with a million different scenarios. Well, the client's doing this, they want to know that. Client does this, they want to know that. Well, that shows me that you're selling the client. If you would stop selling the client and qualify the client, you'll have a lot less drama, a lot more closes, and you'll make a lot more money. Questions, concerns on that? If that's not clear, it's okay. Let me know. Okay, moving forward. We can always come back if you have questions. Best practice number 4, and this kind of piggybacks off what I was just mentioning. Avoid dramatic scenarios, because what clients like to do is that they want to tell you their life story, and they'll tell you about their business and why it's different, and why they need money and how they want to use it. And as I mentioned on the affiliate training version of this yesterday, it doesn't matter. And you're wasting their time. You're wasting your time, but more importantly, you're wasting their time, because we have a systematic way of gathering data so we know about the client and we can build their capital raise. But when they're just regurgitating on you their life history, none of that's getting recorded into the database. None of that's being used for their capital raise. You're wasting their time and you're wasting your time. So what we want to do, and this piggybacks off of best practice number 3, is as soon as they take a breath, you'd say, okay, John, I understand. Why don't we do this? Let's first see if you even qualify for the guaranteed 100,000. And again, that's the minimum, that's not the maximum, but let's see if you even qualify or not. And again, what's the analogy? You and I want to go look at houses, and what that realtor is probably going to say 9 times out of 10 is, well, before we go look at that house with that nice pool and the cabana in the backyard, why don't we see if you qualify? And so that's the model here. And so what do? You walk them through your enrollment process into the white label access to capital program, which Scott can help you set up. You can put it online. You can send it out via DocuSign. You can send it out via Adobe. There's other solutions, but best practices number 3 and 4 run together closely. Any questions, comments, concerns on that before we move on to the 5th and final best practice? Okay. Best practice number 5, and this is the most all-encompassing one, is we want you to remain compliant and engaged. What does that mean? Well, we want to help you enroll at least 2 clients a week, because if you're doing that, you're predictably generating at least 10,000 a week. And again, there's 2 schools of thought, right? I know our society's full of haves and have-nots. Any of us can be haves. There's no reason to be broke. There's no reason. There's so many different entrepreneurial opportunities in our nation, in our beautiful country, and this is one. You can be a white label partner and earn adult money without any BS, without any exaggeration. So, but what we need to do is have productivity, right? It's called earned income. And so we want to help you enroll at least 2 clients a week. Now, how much money you'll make from that, you determine, because remember, as a white label partner, you set the pricing for the clients. Take the performance fee, for example. For our in-house clients, we set the performance fee at 6%, same as what a normal real estate transaction would be. Easy cheesy. A lot of you think that's too low, which is fine. So I think the average that most of you are using is around 10%. 10% of capital raised. Well, that's great. That about doubles your income. Mark, one of our top 2 producers, at least from the month of June, he charges 20% of capital raised. So I'm not advocating, I'm not saying that 20% is the right amount, or if it's too high or too low. Mark's a white label partner. He decides what he wants to charge his clients. You're a white label partner. You decide what you want to charge. So granted, if you charge them 1%, you're going to have a lot more clients to generate 10,000 a week. But the point is, just with minimal activity. We have some of you that are white label partners, and then you're just not engaged. The first thing that you'd want to do, it's probably not even listed on here, is make sure that you've gone through the training. There's training videos. Sorry, let me highlight this properly. No, I don't want to do that. There's, I think, 5 or 6 YouTube training videos that are on the white label page. Well, some of you haven't even looked at that. That's probably not very good preparedness. Some of you have skimmed it while you're multitasking, watching the game on TV. Well, that's probably not very diligent. It's up to you. I'm not here to lecture you. But the point that I'm making is if you'll engage and you follow these strategies, you'll enroll at least 2 clients a week and you'll earn a good income. It's not get rich quick. And I know some of you are making a lot more than $10,000 a week now, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of people in our country, in our society, that aren't earning $10,000 in a month, let alone in a week. So keep that in mind. All right, bullet number 2. We want to help clients complete their soft credit pull as soon after enrollment as possible so we can get them funded quickly. Can you imagine that? We want to get clients funded quickly. That's their priority when they're coming to you, is they want to get at least their first round, or what we call first tranche, FTF, first tranche financing, as soon as possible. Well, who controls how quickly they get their first round of money? You do, because you're communicating with your clients, right? So you need, and we set up the client and we send you all the information you need each time you submit a client into us. But the point is, you need to get them to complete that soft credit pull quickly so we can figure out what type of financing that they would qualify for initially. And then we'll communicate that with you. And if you agree, then you'll communicate that with the client. It's a good system. But if you're not engaged, then engage means involved, right? If you're not involved, then maybe you're dropping clients in, which step 1 is to enroll clients, at least 2 a week. But second is help them get their funding quickly. Don't just sit on it. Okay. If there's any questions, let me know. All right. And then the third bullet is a little deeper. I think all of us have skills. Some of us are better at some things than others. And the older we get, probably the more, at least for me, the more I realize what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. So from your perspective, you can be a white label partner and just do the parts that you want to do. So let's say that the mentoring part of helping clients go through the 4 modules and building out their loan package, let's say that you really don't like that, don't really want to do that. Fine, then outsource it. Some of you, I think, haven't become a white label partner because you don't want to do the mentoring. You don't have the time or interest. Fine, become a white label partner and outsource that part, right? I keep using Domino's as an example, but so let's say you and I go buy a Domino's franchise. Do you have to go in and be the guy that's cutting the pizza after it comes out of the oven? No, you don't have to do that. You can have someone else do it. Do you have to be the person that's delivering the pizzas out to the clients that have ordered delivery? No, you don't have to do it. You outsource it, right? So just keep in mind, if you don't like the mentoring, outsource it. If you don't like, or you're not licensed to write key person policies, don't fret over it, outsource it. Let's say that you don't like the client development side. You just really like working with clients. You don't really want to be involved with the development, in other words, the sales process. Fine, outsource it, right? It's not that complicated. You can own a business and you don't have to be a one-person show. You could frankly outsource all 3 aspects and just manage it and just create a revenue stream. They call that mailbox money, right? My neighbor, you've heard me say this multiple times, but I'm sitting here looking out the window, so I see the Sonic. It's about a block down the street. My neighbor owns that Sonic, that one plus others. He does not get up in the morning. Well, I guess Sonic's open 24 hours. I'm not sure. But he doesn't get up in the morning, go in and make hash browns and breakfast burritos and whatever the hell Sonic sells for breakfast. He's not there in the morning. You know what? He doesn't go in at lunch and make hamburgers and fries. You know what? He doesn't go in the evening and sell milkshakes and sundaes. He doesn't go there. He owns it. You can own a white label partnership and outsource the work. You do not have to be the worker. Now, ideally, if you know how everything operates, you'll probably be more successful. But just keep in mind, it's small thinking to assume, oh, I've got to do everything. Hell no, you outsource what you don't want to do. All right, so let's make this a bit smaller so maybe we can see it all on the screen, and then we'll wrap up with the questions that you all have. Okay, so Gwen says, so we get them to fill out the form to see if they qualify. Well, let me make sure that I'm transparent. So Gwen, as a white label partner, you're going to enroll your clients. We've provided you the agreement template that you can edit as you would like. And you can have them execute that in whatever means that you want. If you make it convenient for them, in other words, kind of put it up online as terms and conditions, or at least put it into like a DocuSign or an Adobe file where you can send it to them and they just, click the mouse a few times and accept and agree, then you'll have more enrollment because it's easier for them. People in our society want easy. So with that, you as the white label partner, and I'm getting more to the core of Gwen's question, you control the client's terms and conditions. So if you want to allow them to enroll and then just quit for any reason, you can do that. If you want them to enroll and they can only quit under certain circumstances, you're under control. It's your client. You control the terms and conditions and you control the pricing. Now, of course, you want to have integrity. So whatever you're doing needs to match what's in the agreement, of course, but it's up to you, Gwen. Yeah. So if you have someone that enrolls and then they don't want to move forward and you want to release them, that's your decision. If you sell a pepperoni pizza and the client says, oh, I don't like the pepperoni pizza, and you want to refund their $5.99 or not charge them for it, that's fine. I mean, that's up to you. You're the white label partner. Good question, though, Gwen. Let me know if I didn't answer that. All right. So John says, great training. Thank you, sir. Wondering how to access the training. Okay. Yeah. And so most of the recent, well, first of all, we have a YouTube channel. So to the best of my knowledge, all of the past trainings are on that YouTube channel, and you can get that from Scott if you don't have it. Secondly, the most important training is on, arguably the most important training is on the white label page itself, which I'm highlighting too much of it there. And then also, but John's got a good question. We'll dig into that because it's relevant. We made an announcement earlier this week. It was on July 6th. I remember now. We said that for clients that enroll in our in-house access to capital program, that we're going to provide the credit sweep and credit boost at no additional charge if that would benefit them. And that's really almost all that you need to know, John, is that you'll enroll clients normally. And then once the soft credit pull is done, then we can look at what type of first tranche financing they qualify for. We talked about that down here. And then if they would benefit from addressing derogatory, which is fancy wording for saying if they would benefit from having negative items removed, and or if they would benefit from credit boost, which would be fancy words for saying adding new positive trade lines, then we can assist them and not charge them. So it used to be credit sweep, standalone program, had a fee. Used to be credit boost, standalone program, had a fee. Now, as of July 6th, clients that are enrolling in the direct access to capital program, if they would benefit from that, if it would help them with their capital raise, then we extend that to them. Now, John, you're a white label partner. Again, welcome aboard. And so as a white label partner, we are not going to pitch anything to your clients. We shouldn't be. We're going to be communicating with you to let you know what we would recommend. And so we'll coordinate off of that, but you don't really need to do anything different. As long as you're doing bullet number 1, John, and then following up with bullet number 2, then we can determine if they need assistance with their credit. Because what do we know? Not all sources of capital require personal credit worthiness. And there's different types of credit, business credit versus personal credit and so forth. We're closing on a real estate deal with one of our clients. And I made reference to this once before, but so we helped the client go form a brand new C Corp, issued an offer through a realtor, of course, to buy this commercial property through that brand new C Corp. We're set to go to close with the client on or before August 1st. So sometime this month. It's going through the title company now. And there's no personal guarantee on that real estate purchase. So these strategies work, but I digress. So the bottom line is, on the credit side, John, don't worry about that. Bring clients in, help them get their help them get their soft credit pull done so we can get their first tranche of financing. And that information is, the links and everything is on the white label page. And then if they would benefit from credit improvement, we'll coordinate with you on that. So keep that simple. Any other questions, comments, concerns? So some of you are new faces, and so this is great. Some of you've been around for a while, and my hope is that for both groups that you can use this as insight to be more successful, because these are some best practices that we've learned over the past 45 days since the white label partnership model has launched. Mark asked a really good question, and I kind of glossed over that. So he's calling me out on it, which is fine. So John, a moment ago, had asked about, now that we're offering the credit repair for free, and we talked about that. Mark is following up with that, saying, well, if someone needs and gets the free credit repair, will that delay their funding? The answer is it depends, because again, some sources of capital use personal credit, some don't. It may be that their credit's good enough to progress now. Maybe it's not, based on the type of capital. I think it's it depends. But Mark, what you're going to love as a white label partner, we're communicating with you the recommended next step and the reason why. And then you're going to make a decision. Yep, I agree with that. Let's progress. Let's instruct the client. Or I'm not sure about that. I have a question, or I have another idea. So you're in control of that. But you're right. Some clients will need some work on their file to get to their desired goal, and so work could require time. So in general, I'd say you're right, Mark. All right, so Regina has a question. In the enrollment process, the personal credit score and personal income is essential. Well, when we enroll, we don't ask people their personal credit or their personal income. You could if you want to, but white label partners normally don't. But you are right in the extent that when we're trying to get them their first tranche of financing, which should happen quickly, that's why it says quickly, then we're working off of their current baseline information. We've not built their loan package yet, right? We don't have the business plan and financial projections and everything for the full picture funding. We're just saying, okay, what can we get you right now? And that is typically based off of the 3 C's: credit worthiness, cash flow, and collateral. Now, it could be business credit, business cash flow, business collateral, or it could be personal credit, personal cash flow, personal collateral. But I don't disagree with you, Regina. What we're looking at off of the soft credit pull is just off the personal side. And that's frankly because most of our clients don't have a lot of business cash flow, a lot of business collateral or business credit yet, but they may have it. I have one client that came through, Mark, one of our top white label partners, and this client qualifies for a huge amount of first tranche funding without any use of personal credit because the client has credibility on the business side. But I don't disagree with you, Regina. Okay, any other questions here? Because in summary, what we wanted to do today is just summarize some of the white label best practices. We went through 5 of them. Some maybe something you were already aware of, maybe you learned something from it. Certainly working with Scott, making sure that you got plenty of leads coming in, and making sure that you've got drip marketing, because not everyone will sign up right away. So those that don't sign up, you want to put into a drip marketing sequence. He'll help you put that together, and try to make your terms and conditions, your client agreement, as simple as possible, because people love simple, easy, fast, and free, and there's no upfront cost for them to enroll in your white label access to capital. So putting it online or getting it into a DocuSign or online Adobe or something like that is going to definitely increase your conversions. And once you've done that, then you can take the approach of stop pitching and instead qualify. And it only takes them 2 to 3 minutes typically to do that. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Pleasure. Have a great weekend. I'll be traveling to Houston, but we'll be back on track for Monday. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.